Hello. Welcome to Tuesday, What's Brewing Behind the Scenes. I'm Julie Wilhite. I am a portrait and wedding and branding photographer based in Austin, Texas. And yeah, What's Brewing Behind the Scenes is just basically me making my morning cup of coffee and kind of talking about what's happening behind the scenes in my business and yeah, different tips and tricks I have. So let's see if I can open this today. Can't do it. I'm gonna use my shirt. This is a very sophisticated way of overcoming the fact that I have product on my hair. Hello, how are you doing today? 36th Street events. Let's see if I can talk today. So I'm a little flustered today because I was running around. I don't know how many of you guys are in Austin, but the weather here is a little crazy, right? Maybe for the last several weeks. I know, right? This is gonna be my second cup of coffee too. I could not get it together this morning. My 4-year-old was running around and basically like, I wanna go to school because he's so excited to play with his friend, which is great, but I couldn't get it together to make a cup of coffee. So I went to Starbucks this morning for a strong cup. But it's been a little crazy this morning because of the weather here in Austin. I don't know about any of you, but I'm a little sick of the constant weather forecast of gloom and doom. Yeah, it's just been really frustrating for having such a busy season, and every week is kind of like, okay, can this session still be a success even if it's raining? Or hello, or do we move inside? Do we keep it outside? Normally I typically will move sessions that happen outdoors because I love natural light. I love the sun. It is my paint with which I paint with. And anyways, so obviously a sunny day is, what we aim for, but there are still opportunities sometimes to take some beautiful pictures indoors. So I'm trying to get myself not from a bind. So basically I need another cup of coffee, right? Am I right? Are you right? Are you with me? And I decided to do my hair for you guys today. What? Look, it's done. I'm sure when I walk outside later, it's gonna just puff up into crazy proportions, but sometimes you kind of just need your hair done. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? My sister Cindy is on, Miss Cynthia. This is very exciting. Hold that thought. I'm gonna go get my hot water for my coffee, okay? I stayed up late last night. I don't know about any of you guys. Has anyone seen Avengers Endgame? Loves Avengers. So my sister Erica came over and watched the kiddos, or was here with them, and my husband and I went and saw the Avengers Endgame, and I went to the Alamo Draft House, which I don't know about you guys, if you guys all love the Alamo Draft House. I don't go very often because I don't want there to be tons of movement while I'm trying to watch a movie, but it's actually not bad at all. And their popcorn with clarified butter with ghee, mind blown. Like, so delicious. Oh, I won't spoil it. I won't tell you anything that happens in the Avengers Endgame, but it was very good. It was just long. It was like 3 hours long, which I wasn't quite prepared for. But it was kind of nice, and we were, it was like a lot happened. And even at Alamo, they had this like preview at the beginning that was like kind of getting you up to speed on all the different Marvel movies that have been out, including the new female superhero that was in the new Avengers today. She was pretty kick-ass. She was awesome. So, I liked it. I did. And you know what? Sometimes it's just, my husband and I can go to fancy dinners, we could do all these different things, but what we love is going to the movies. I love that all the time. Whenever I have like, oh, are you gonna treat yourself? How do you want to treat yourself? I'm like, take myself to a movie. I like to go all by myself. I like to go with my husband. I like to go with my girlfriends, but I just I don't even need anyone. I'll just go by myself. I love going to movies. It's like just a great escape into storytelling. And I don't know about any of you guys, I've also been loving all the different things that are on Netflix right now, and all the different streaming. I mean, TV has come to another level as far as the stories that they're telling. I watched earlier this week the documentary on the 4 women that ran in the midterm elections, including why am I going to forget her name right now? My husband would. Anyways, the woman who won in the Bronx, who's bomb.com. She is so amazing. And just to hear these regular women that are now, or just people in general, right? Like not even to put a specific gender on them, but people that are really just coming up out of nowhere to run in the elections and to be representing us. It's just, pretty incredible. So I highly recommend that documentary for anyone who's looking for something to watch and also interested in what's currently happening in the world. Let me go grab a plate. So how are you doing? How are you doing during this busy season right now? It is, did you watch it too? It is, what is it? Beginning of May. My hair, I just did it, but it's gonna be a little crazy. Big hair, I'm in Texas, if anybody didn't know. Yes, it is, this weekend is the second week of May, or the first full week of May. And I don't know about you guys, but this is really kind of, I'm a little over midway point in my super busy season. So I kind of started in the last 2 weekends of March. April was bonkers, and now May is very busy as well, but kind of ends with my last weekend of Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to the lake, and I'm super pumped about that. I'm a little over midway. Here's my Califia almond milk creamer that I love. Even for my Starbucks cup, because I love to bring my stainless steel tumbler with me so that I'm not creating more waste, and also drinking out of those plastic tops really grosses me out. Hi, honey.
Hello.
So now I've even been putting a little bit of my creamer and my cinnamon in my cup. So I have the coffee exactly the way that I want it, but someone else brewed the cup for me, which I love. So we are almost, I'm gonna sit on my table as I always do and talk to you guys. I love that. Don't spoil it for the Avengers. I know. It's really good. So how are you guys doing for your busy season for spring? I am feeling good, but I'm starting to get a little bit, I felt this past weekend where I was excited and my wedding was so lovely. I had the best families. But I really kind of came to kind of like, okay, I need to start taking care of myself a little bit more, just kind of. So what I did yesterday is I practiced what I preached, and I worked for just like 30 minutes to do exactly what I had to do, and then kind of shut off for the rest of the day. So didn't go to the gym to get in extra hours of work. I just hung out with my baby. We went on a walk. I cooked delicious, nutritious meals for us, and I folded all the laundry, which sounds totally uneventful, but it felt good to just do things other than work, right? Which is what we kind of have to do to really be in the right frame of mind that we want to be, to really give ourselves permission to shut off for a few hours or for a day. And now I'm like, oh, do I have to work today too? I don't mind turning off. It's really nice. But really, really, I think the big part of that piece is giving yourself permission, right? So I could sit here and feel, like turning off my computer, then I could feel guilty, or I could be thinking about what email might be coming in right now, some type of wedding emergency. someone that needs me, all these things that we like to tell ourselves. But I think it's really important to say, okay, I give myself permission to turn off, to truly turn off, and to give myself a day where I'm not working, I'm not on. So it felt really good, and I already can tell by the end of the day I was starting to be like, I wouldn't, I kind of want to do this or I kind of want to do that, but I really kept with my promise to myself to take the day off, and didn't do anything additional, which was good, because now I feel like rested, like truly rested and ready for today. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about today, feel free. I want you guys to give me any questions that you have or anything that you want me to talk about. But if you guys don't have anything to talk about, then I was just going to talk about how I mentally and actually even physically prepare myself for a wedding day. So it's something I kind of do naturally, and it kind of has evolved over time. Before I had children, my mornings on wedding days looked very different than they do now. Which is great, but I do miss those days a lot, when I could just wake up in the morning, just really be in the right mindset all day, really calm, quiet, all that peace. Sounds delicious. But for me now, really my prep for a wedding day starts months in advance with my wedding questionnaire, and then kind of creating that photography timeline specific to their wedding day, and kind of putting together portrait lists, making sure that we're maximizing the natural light, really creating that timeline that sets me up for success for the day. Make sure I have enough time for everything that the couple wants. Telling the couple what I need in order to be truly successful in capturing their wedding day. So that timeline is everything. And it's also a good question someone had the other day, talking about how they don't work as much with coordinators, and that it's a little new for them. And it can be a little bit interesting. Every coordinator is a little bit different. Every client with that coordinator can be different, because every client maybe gets a specialized package with what they're actually, what the coordinator is doing for them. Are they doing a whole design? Are they helping them with their timeline? Are they helping them preparing the timeline? There's just so many different ways that a coordinator could work with a client. So just keeping that, coordinator in the loop, creating that timeline with them and the client to make sure that you have everything you need for the day up. So really the day before, I am printing that timeline out, looking over it, making sure that my second shooter knows where to be and what time frame is and stuff like that. You're amazing. Love you, Beth. But yes, really just printing all of that out and having that ready on the day before, and then making sure that everything is charging. I use all reusable batteries, which amazing. If you guys have not made the switch, it is a life changer. So I just make sure everything is soft charged, all my batteries, all my flash batteries, all my trigger batteries, all my camera batteries, cleaning my lenses, making sure that everything's prepared, formatting my cards, and doing all of that. And that's something physically that I do, but really it's really mental, right? Like knowing that before I go to bed that night, everything is prepared and ready for me to be successful the next day. It just allows my mind to rest a little bit. So then on the day of, there's lots of different things that I do. But again, looking over all that stuff, making sure that I'm drinking enough water, making sure that I am feeding myself. I also bring lunches with food in this, with either I'll have a whole avocado or I'll have pancakes from that morning for breakfast, or I have these perfect bars right now that I get from Costco that are so delicious. I don't know if anyone else loves them. If you can have eggs and nuts, but they're delicious. I packed those last week and just had them in my bag for that moment when you're starving, because it will come. Last weekend I shot for 12 hours for my evening for my wedding. So I started at noon, which means I started a little before noon, and went all the way to 11 p.m. So you better believe I was hungry and ate both of my bars and my snacks. So Also too, I have some dietary restrictions, so having that avocado for dinner with salt and pepper, because I need that, having that all prepared just really kind of alleviates my mind in knowing that I'll be able to have some food and water when I need it, which is super important. So one of the other big things I do is just leaving ahead of time for a wedding. So on the day of the wedding, what I used to do is wake up and have a beautiful morning, all relaxed, where I mentally prep myself the entire day. But now with children that are 1 and 4, my morning looks a little bit different, right? Sunday is pancake morning, hence the pancakes are my snack. And my son looks forward to it all week. So it's go still on that morning. So what I typically do is, if I do have that nap time is when I kind of start to decompress, or I really kind of put in several, an hour or two before the actual wedding for me to leave a little bit earlier for my house. I typically, again, bring my tumbler and go to get coffee, my second or third cup of the day, and just have a little bit of time to listen to some music, to decompress in the car, get myself into adult mode. Oh, my coffee's good today. And really mentally prepare myself for the day. So what do you guys do? Is there anything specific that you do to prepare for a wedding day? Beth, what do? You have 2 kids too. And having a great partner. My husband is really great about just helping me in the morning and letting me get out the door at a good time, and knowing that the boys are in good hands, and having a day with their daddy, which is super important. I know, right? Leaving early and prepping the day before is key. That's what Beth says, and I absolutely believe that. Sometimes it's almost about mentally preparing yourself just as much as like physically, your equipment and everything like that, preparing yourself to really feel at your best. The other thing I did mention, or I've talked about before, is having something that I'm thinking about or challenging myself on the day of a wedding. So I may have been looking over some different poses or been inspired by something, or and think, hey, like that would be fun to try with a couple and do something different today. Or thinking about those moments in between moments and be like, today I'm really going to concentrate on moments today, and really kind of, or concentrate on the grandparents, which is always one of my favorites. Those people can be so, the more I do this, and obviously I'm older, than I was when I first started. I've been doing this for, it'll be 11 years this summer. And one of the things, hi Miss Jenna, one of the things that have become more and more important to me is capturing the family of the couple. And even more than that, your grandparents. So I don't have my grandparents anymore. And those pictures that I have of them on my wedding day are super special to me. And so I just always think about that for my couples. I had a couple one time, the best ever. They were so sweet. And they had a really just sweet grandma that, again, concentrated on capturing some beautiful portraits of her, which is just something I naturally kind of do throughout the day, just kind of noticing where they are. Sometimes they're on the dance floor, which is a key moment for me to go paparazzi. But they may not get in the dance floor. Maybe they're a wildflower and like sitting in their chair, just watching everyone dance, and really just capturing that. And just really kind of keeping an eye on them. And at this particular wedding, they had a super sweet grandma, and I delivered their images, several weeks later, and they reached out to me saying that, I can't remember if the grandmother passed away, I think maybe the day before I delivered their images, and they reached out to me just telling me how much it meant. They had some beautiful portraits in there of her that really touched their heart, and it really just reinforced for me again that capturing our grandparents, capturing our family members that are so important to me, and really having those images for them to cherish forever. I have this beautiful image of my grandfather in my wedding images, and he just has the cutest look on his face which was so my grandfather. He was a character. He was always making us laugh, and I can just see who he is in that image, and that's what I always want to capture for my couples as well. I want that image that they're going to remember forever, and then cherish forever, and kind of remember, who their grandparents are, years from now when their parents are past. I agree, Jenny. The people and the moments are the treasures. We can have all these beautiful things that that the couple, that I, for my wedding, put so much effort into, incorporating our personalities and creating this great experience for our guests for the day. And my job really is to capture all of that, but then capture all the people that are there, right? Enjoying it, which is the whole point. So, it's always a good reminder to me that those moments in between the moments and capturing all that family is something that is really important to me, and important that my couples have that. So that's something else I kind of just mentally prepare myself with, things that I'm thinking about, what I want to capture, kind of visually walking through the day, maybe in those couple of hours before the wedding starts, just kind of start to visually prep myself and go through the day up. It can be really helpful for me. And listening to good music, right? I know I've been talking so much about Khalid and his new album, but it does good. It's awesome. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I know we are getting through about halfway through our wedding season, our busy spring, right? Not that we don't have busy summers too, but the spring here in Texas is a little bit cray-cray. So we are almost there. I'm cheering for you guys, and I, just excited to keep sharing all these beautiful images that I've been capturing with you guys, and just sharing more tips. So please send me a message. Let me know what you thought of this live. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about next week. It would be a true joy. So, coffee. Here's to a wonderful day. Love you guys.